아픔을 두려워한다면 승리의 영광을 얻을 수 없는 법. 마스터즈 시즌 1 최강의 전사들, 그리고 300명의 난투 속에서 살아남은 새로운 도전자들. 어차피 전장에 돌아온 이상 피할 수 없다면 제대로 즐겨봐야지. 새로운 친구도 많이 생겼겠다. 더 재미있게 놀아보자고. 레진 코믹스 하스스톤 마스터즈 코리아 시즌 2. 웰컴 투 헬파이어.
Welcome everyone to Hearthstone Masters Korea Season 2. Welcome to Hellfire here at OGN.
Yep, welcome to Hellfire,
We really
everybody.
know how to get the
fun.
adrenaline pumping for the summer.
Yeah, who doesn't love Hellfire, you know? Come on, kids love it.
Do
Welcome to Hellfire.
Do Murlocs love Hellfire?
No, they don't.
Sad
I learned that.
times.
I was playing Murloc all day. Not something you want to generally admit publicly, but man, we had a very interesting day yesterday, didn't we, Chober? We had two 3-0s. I think we had two players that were clearly better than their counterparts in those matches, but today I think it's going to be a lot closer. I would not be surprised at all to see both of these series go to 5 games.
Yeah, the Korean community calling this a possible, these are the players you might expect to see in the semifinals of a season if all of them were to qualify and continue going on through the bracket. And I think that's a pretty accurate, not that they're necessarily the top 4, but if they were to make it in the semifinals, it wouldn't be surprising at all. We have 4 players, all who have actually a pretty long history of playing the game. So that's pretty great to hear for once, because until now we've had people who are like, oh yeah, I kind of started in maybe like March and kind of grinded my way through, or started in January, but I don't have enough cards. And then now we're really seeing people realizing who've been playing since the closed beta being like, this is something I can really try a hand at. The scene is really developing in Korea. Maybe it's worth a shot to put in more time and effort into playing Hearthstone competitively.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've got Dawn versus Ghost, and then Surrender versus Transit, and all 4 of these players, all 4 of these guys have been playing for well over a year now. So they've got the practice, they've been on teams, they've had some success in the past, some not as much success, but it should be a close match, and all 4 of these guys are really good. So, a little bit of info about our tournament.
Yeah, well, of course, we are starting with the round of 16 here in the studio with single elimination, and then we actually have a dual tournament double elimination format for the quarterfinals, and then back to single elimination, but a best of 7 starting with the semifinals, so things really ramping up towards the end there.
Yeah, and it is, of course, all Conquest format, which is really fun. I really love the Conquest format. I mean, last Hero Standing was cool while it was, first starting out, but over time we kind of figured out wasn't the best format for Hearthstone. Conquest, though, I think is something that's going to last for a long time, because I really do feel like Hearthstone is a game that you should be seeing players play multiple classes. It's not like other CCGs where you just bring a single deck and modify a little bit. We could get there eventually with Hearthstone as the card pool increases, but right now, I think Conquest is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, and I really like the flavor that each classes have. Obviously, we have the hero powers that add a little more flair to that, and a little difference from some other CCGs you might have played in the past. And again, a lot of things that people have been talking about, and we've started to see with things like Blackrock Mountain or the previous expansions, is that because it's digital, we have a lot more options in terms of mechanics. So I'm pretty excited to see what comes out in the next expansion, which I would hope would be sometime this year. Well, actually, yeah, they did say there would be another one before BlizzCon, I believe. So.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing pretty well about releasing stuff regularly, which is what you need to do if you want to have a successful CCG.
Well, yeah, no, but it's always exciting.
Yeah,
it's always exciting. But for now, I think what's exciting is that people are still figuring out newer decks to come out from the Blackrock Mountain card pool, which have helped, obviously, kind of reinvent some of the older cards, too. And that's always refreshing to see when you kind of try to follow the meta and you're finally seeing some other cards come back or other styles come back.
Yeah, I mean, think about it right now. We've got the most powerful deck in the game, arguably, I think a lot of people would say so, is a deck that uses 2 Battle Rage, which is a card that was kind of written off for the entire history of Hearthstone so far. Very few people ever used it. But now it's a standard in the most powerful deck.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Of course, the Patron Warrior, and we're looking at
Right.
some of the gifts that we've had from artists who are part of the Legend Comics website, the portal that where artists can kind of set themselves up to start publishing their cartoons online so that people
Cool.
can enjoy them. And they are our title sponsor this season, so that's pretty awesome that people are just getting more involved with Hearthstone. I think that really speaks to Hearthstone finally having its own footing here in Korea.
Yep, that's right. Well, let's take a look at some of our results so far and what's to come as well. Solcio and Miracle, both 3-0ing their opponents. Solcio taking out Kuma from Team Golden Coin, and Miracle taking down the teamless qualifier. I guess that's just what he was, Joe.
Yep, just the qualifier.
Harsh, but it's true. Today, Dawn versus Ghost, Surrender versus Transit, and then there it is, Dawn versus Ghost, Surrender versus Transit.
so
Yet again, you have no excuse for not knowing now.
Yeah, best of 5, Group C and D here, and of course, like we said, because the quarterfinals are done in a group format where it's double elimination dual tournament, the 2 winners from today will also join Celsius and Miracle from yesterday's matches to go into their own Group A for the quarterfinals. The first matches for each will still be the first 2 winners from yesterday and the second 2 from today, but then they'll have a dual tournament for winners matches, losers matches, things like that, so it's all pretty exciting. But today's matches, I can't wait to see the player interviews that we have, because obviously there's a lot of information and a lot to learn about these guys, and we're jumping right into it. There's Dawn from Team Nightmare. He made a splash last season by taking down Surrender and denying him within the qualifiers from entering the round of 16.
Yeah, and a lot of questions about this guy right now. He seems to have some talent, but we'll see if he can take him a little bit farther than it did last season.
And he's just saying, well, you know, I was a little bit disappointed in myself in the round of 8 last season. I made some mistakes. And he's talking about it right here. He didn't place Commander Argus in between his 2 minions in the quarterfinals. That kind of cost him a lot of that game. And he was like, yeah, obviously that's my most kind of memorable moment because it's haunting me to this day. And, you know, it was such a shame because I started seeing the fans grow more and more in numbers too as the season went on. And I just wish I could have continued playing in the season to play in front of more and more people to prove myself a little bit more. And I think what I've learned is that I definitely need just more practice. I need to practice a lot more. I need a little bit more constructed practice in terms of structure. And I'm looking forward to not making any mistakes this season and showing you guys a clean play in my Hearthstone game.
All right, well, something every pro aspires to, I'm sure. That clean play, and he looked really good in the round of 16 last season. Round of 8, like we just talked about, he had a couple mistakes that cost him some games, cost him the match, but if he's continued to practice at the rate he is, no doubt he will be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I mean, he made it back in here, and not everyone is able to do that, especially when you're trying to get through a qualifier of 300 people. So well done by him. And he did get himself some WC points right there, the World Championship points last season. So if he can get a little bit further today, and then this season, maybe he'll get some more points to get some footing to join the other players at the World Championship at the end of the year. But for now, his opponent will be Ghost. First time we're seeing him here at OGN, and he is part of Team Golden Coin.
That's right, there he is, C2 apparently.
Yeah, joining
Well,
John, the group. And he's been playing since closed beta here in Korea, but he actually failed to qualify every time there was a chance to qualify here at OGN. So he thought, oh, maybe, you know, I'm just not destined to play at a professional level. So I was so happy, you know, it made it even better to be able to qualify this season. And I'm generally a safer player, but now and then I will take some of those big risks to try to play for the win. So I'd say that's my style. And, you know, Dawn, yeah, we're friends, we're good friends, but we've actually never played against each other too much. But I'm pretty sure I'm just going to win. It's just going to be kind of a steamroll through. And I'm pretty confident in my round of 16. Of course, it is my first time qualifying, so I will, you know, be doing my best and taking things a little bit cautiously.
Yeah, Ghost has been on Golden Coin since the very, very beginning, and he's been good. I've heard a lot of good things about this guy, but he does kind of have nerves when he's in those situations, and a lot of teammates saying, you know, that was part of what made it hard for him to make it through those other qualifiers. But he's here now. He's conquered those to a certain extent. Taking out his teammate Cali Solo actually in the earlier in the qualifiers.
Then Minovation and Junie were his other matches in the qualifier, winning them 3-0, 3-1, and 3-1. So a pretty good win record coming in, all-time win record being 30-20, so that's not too bad either, but just never was able to show up at the qualifiers for OGN. Perhaps that offline setting kind of haunting him a little bit more because, like you said, and his teammates have vouched that he's done well in team battles, he's done well in online tournaments.
Well, Golden
just
Coin,
not that well here.
Golden Coin has always had a very healthy practice schedule. They do weekly matches against a top Taiwanese team, so these guys are prepared.
Yeah, and Ghost actually in a different tournament here in Korea was voted kind of as an all-star in that tournament by the fans. So he has a good track record within the Korean community, just hasn't had a chance to show up here until today. And we're looking at Dawn's deck choices. It's going to be Warrior, Rogue, and Warlock.
Yeah, that's right. So pretty standard stuff. Although I gotta say, I still am a little bit surprised that we're seeing this much Rogue.
Yeah.
I think Oil Rogue is still a very strong deck, don't get me wrong, but it's just a little bit weaker than some of the other stuff we normally see these days.
Yeah, and then Warrior, Druid, and Warlock. Korean players not favoring the Hunter as much as you might expect.
Yeah.
Especially when you're allowed to bring 3 decks. I mean, yeah, you can feel that maybe it's a little draw dependent, but at the same time, it's so consistent in some other matchups.
One thing that's also consistent about the Korean scene is that they're very slow to adapt to new decks that come out. And so Hybrid Hunter really hasn't reached Korea in a big way yet. We see it a little bit, but not as much as we really should. Fan vote pretty close on these two guys right now. Dawn, of course, with a little bit of a lead, probably based largely on what happened last season, but you can see a lot of supporters for Ghost as well. They know this guy's got what it takes.
Yeah, well, a lot of people do expect this to be a very close match. Both matches today to be pretty close. Again, like we mentioned, they are probably one of the top tier players we have throughout the entire season already going at it in the round of 16. Dawn versus Ghost. We're going to kick off the best of 5, and we'll find out which decks they each chose for their first set in this Conquest format, best of 5. So set number 1 ready between these two players. Let's jump right into it.
Chobra, this is going to be a great day of Hearthstone. Dawn versus Ghost, looks like Rogue versus Warrior is going to be our first match of the day.
And, I secretly hope that maybe it'd be Patron Warrior, but yet again, it is Control Warrior coming in from Ghost.
I was actually talking to Transit before the show a bit about Control Warrior, or a Patron Warrior rather, and everyone's, according to him, the pros here are like, well, yeah, we know it's like the best deck right now, but it takes so much practice to get really good at it.
Fair enough.
It's also the probably hardest deck to play ever made in Hearthstone. So
and it takes a lot of time to crunch those numbers. And
yeah, a lot.
You are limited to 1 minute and 30 each turn.
And you know this as well as I do, that in Korean esports, just across the board, they won't use things at the pro level until they're really polished.
Yeah.
And so while you'll see in every game pretty much European, North American pro players try new things quicker, Korea, it always takes a little bit longer. They always want to make sure they've got it just right. And Patron takes a long time to get just right. I don't think anyone's gotten it just right yet.
Yeah, that speaks to a lot in different titles too. So Korea is not always actually going to be the forerunner in the beginning life of an esport, but give it a year or two once they catch on, and then there are a certain number of really strong choices. That's when, because then they can latch onto those until the new one develops and they practice it enough and then switch over, and that's when they have the advantage because they'll spend that extra time to really make sure it's worth it to try and they won't make any mistakes.
And Ghost is actually playing Dragon Warrior as well. Check that out.
Oh, nice. Man. Okay. All right.
Blackwing Corruptor in the hand. Very, very cool
and
stuff.
Straza. I wonder if he's running probably Nefarian, but I wonder which other one he's running. If he's running Ysera or perhaps something else, or maybe just 2 dragons. Although 3 would be best if you're going to try to go for the Corruptors.
I've seen it with both, with Nefarian or Ysera, but
yeah, I mean, most of the decks I've seen have included all 3. So Alex, Straza, Ysera, and Nefarian. Nefarian kind of, of course, the go-to to help find a finisher, and might not be too bad actually against Rogue, especially as Warrior, because you also have a weapon. So if you get a weapon-based spell,
yeah, Nefarian is actually I would say Nefarian is probably the most useful in Warrior in general, just because Warrior has the ability, like you mentioned, with weapons and things, to use spells that it gets from any other class.
Yeah, definitely make a lot of use. 2 saps and 2 oils there for Dawn, but not too much else to combo those with.
Well, there's Ysera. Looks like a pretty clean kill with this Blackwing Corruptor. Gonna have to see if he attacks into it or if he gives up one of his armor smiths. Yeah, he's just gonna attack into it. Nothing wrong with that. Again, this is Control Warrior. You're gonna be building a lot of armor and not too dangerous to go down to 25 health just yet.
Yeah.
The hand is definitely a bit odd for Dawn right now.
Yeah, it's pretty harsh. I mean, you don't have Blade Flurry.
And none of this is really sap worthy. You can't play the Violet Teacher because it's just going to die to the Corruptor. Really kind of rough situation to be in. No weapon charges to use Harrison Jones on, so it's not even worth it. I don't know. You may just want to go face and play Blood Mage Thalnos maybe, but even then you're going to give him a couple armor. It's just really kind of a bad situation for Dawn right now.
Yeah, I wonder if he even desperately Violet Teacher and Deadly Poison and it's going to give him more armor, but it also gives you an option to get rid of everything next turn depending on if you draw a Blade Flurry. He's actually just going to go for a Sharp Sword.
Okay. Yeah, just going to take out one of the Armor Smiths, and he can deal with both of those over the course of the next 2 turns, I suppose. That seems like a reasonable play.
Yeah, but that means the Corruptor is going to get a lot of damage down too, so it's a tough choice.
Okay, he's just going to take the Corruptor out now.
Well, now
I suppose you have to, huh?
Yeah, Dawn's banking a lot on just also getting a Blade Flurry, but like you said, you kind of had to. If you get rid of one of the Armor Smiths, yeah, it makes your win condition easier, but, you know, you're probably going to lose before you get to that point, so.
What?
Oh, we got someone from who's been doing their service, and I guess coming out here on a vacation day.
It is Buddha's birthday this week, so a lot of vacationing going on around Korea. All right, so goes ahead and puts out the Emperor Thaurissan, which is always nice.
Game,
and you've got 2 dragons in your hand.
Yeah, is pretty much over. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that.
I mean, he's got a couple saps. He just doesn't really have the damage to handle all of this without taking a lot himself, you know.
Yeah, sapping the Thaurissan is gonna be nice, but the Armor Smiths are gonna start racking up a lot of the armor. So yeah, you can take out one here, but he's still at 28 effective health for Ghost. He has a shield block if he needs. The Thaurissan can come back down if he wants.
Do you fish for a shield slime here? Or do you just play Thaurissan again? I think he just might play Thaurissan again.
Oh man,
or you might just eat chicken.
Someone has been here before.
Where's Leroy Jenkins? Because at least he's got chicken.
Alright, well, Thaurissan coming down. Might as well clear the Apprentice.
Yep.
Get that extra armor. Now your dragons are 7 each, and then 1 mana shield block. That is free.
This is pretty terrifying. And I mean, Don's getting some time to draw into stuff, but man, that board is just so hard to deal with. Multiple people eating chicken. Oh my gosh, we can't show the game. It's too amazing.
It's spreading.
Right. I'm calling. Talk me down, Chobra. That chicken is intense.
Yeah, well, yeah, the game is not as intense because Ghost pretty much has an absolute advantage here.
Yeah.
Sadly for Dawn.
Dawn's starting to make a little bit of progress now, but his health is so low. It's going to be tough.
Well, here's what he's done. He's minimized the damage that Alexstrasza can do. So take that, Ghost.
That is true.
Can't do 10 damage with Alexstrasza now.
So what are we going to see here? All right, well, there's the shield slam.
Wow. Well, I think you definitely just go ahead and use those.
Well, yeah, you certainly don't need to play Ysera this turn or anything like that. He's actually going to brawl, and then he's still got that shield slam just in case the Violet Teacher comes out. So that's a good idea.
All right, and he's got the weapon and an Acolyte to play, so that is pretty set to go here for Ghost.
Yep. That turn pretty much went perfectly for him. And so on the Dawn side of things, he really needs a minion. He can play Harrison Jones this turn, draw out of that at least. Azure Drake, I suppose, if he wants something. He may just do that and then sap the Violet Teacher depending on what he draws. Oh, actually, he can just kill the Acolyte anyway. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you can just kill it.
Hey, dude, there's a pro game of Hearthstone going on. What's he playing? What deck is he playing? Oh, I think he was playing Handlock.
All right, well, just killed it with weapon, and then Phantom Knight's just to draw.
Eyes like a hawk.
On an empty board.
All right.
So, do you Ysera here? You can kill the Azure Drake afterwards,
I think you shield block first.
You mean Shield Slime?
Oh, yeah, it's a shield slam, isn't it?
Yeah. So, yeah. So, in that case, I mean, I think you just Ysera.
Yeah.
At this rate, I don't think you really are concerned about getting the Alexstrasza down. I mean, sure, it's still an 8-8, but might as well save it for an emergency use.
I would definitely shield slam, too.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't leave that alive.
He took a while, so I was going to wait for a second.
And what's he going to get? Oh,
Laughing Sister. Oh.
Laughing at
wow.
Ghost.
I mean, at least you can't backstab it.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
The
you can't
value.
eviscerate it.
Can't sap
You
it.
can't sap it.
Oh,
Wow,
that's true.
Laughing
Yeah.
Sister's amazing showbring. All right, well, Harrison puts the axe in a museum. Let's see what he draws out of it. Okay, South Sea Deckhand. So he's got the Sharp Sword Oil. He's got the South Sea Deckhand. He's got Deadly Poison. His opponent has a lot of armor, but if he can clear most of it with Harrison Jones, maybe, just maybe, there's a chance, or maybe Gromash gets drawn. But that only would reduce him down to 4 if he went for that.
I think the right play here is just Ysera. Again, see what you draw. In the next turn, you have the Gromash combo and Ysera to deal with. Another
Now,
Laughing Sister, but it doesn't really matter because both saps have been used.
Now, how much damage actually can Dawn do here? Because he just drew an Eviscerate, too.
Ooh, actually, you're right.
Actually,
All right, he has 2, and then, so 3 on the dagger, plus 3 more from the oil. So
Yeah.
6 on the dagger, so that's 12. And then you have 5 from the deckhand, 5. So 22, 27.
yeah, he was just short.
27. Ah, so close.
It's a lot of damage, but
That
just
is
enough
pretty
armor,
crazy,
I suppose, for
actually.
Ghost. Let's see, can't play the heal bot, can't really play anything else aside
Yeah.
from Fan of Knives. He
I'm
can,
actually not sure why Dawn sprinted there, because
he didn't have lethal, so.
well, I think you still might have just gotten rid of the Ysera and tried to survive, because you would have survived if you gotten rid of Ysera. Granted, you would have to use a lot for it,
I was going to say, yeah, you have to go for the win. I mean, you don't know that they have a way to kill you. It's likely, but you don't know for sure. So, I mean, he played for the win instead of
Fair
playing
enough.
not to lose, which is it's what you have to do in that situation.
Fair enough.
Yep, but Ghost able to get the first win of the night with this Control Warrior. Taking down Dawn, he's up 1-0.
Yeah, well played.
Indeed, so.
Although, yeah, I don't know. Personally, I would have, if anything, I actually think if Dawn, it might have been closer to winning if you had actually just used all that to go to face. Because if you sprinted, you really didn't have any mana to do anything, even with a prep. But either way, he was going to win because we saw Ghost's hand. And in general, at the same time, Dawn doesn't have to feel too bad. Rogue generally does have a hard time against any type of warrior because of that armor factor. So Ghost getting a nice win with his Dragon Warrior, bringing a little bit of dragon flavor here to Korea. We haven't seen too much of it yet. And what will set number 2 be? Both players have a chance to change out their decks. Ghost has to. Dawn may stick with the Rogue once again now that the Warrior is out of the way.
Yep, and it's cool to see a Dragon Warrior come in as well, too. I mean, it's been moving up the rankings in a lot of regions right now, and I think that one could actually go quite a ways as far as the Dragon decks we've seen.
All right, well, Ghost and Dawn are ready for game number 2. Let's find out if Dawn can catch up.
All right, so Dawn is sticking with the Rogue, and the Warlock comes in for Ghost. And it is Handlock.
All right. Yeah, not too surprising that Dawn would stick with the Rogue for now.
Yep. But unfortunately for him, Handlock versus Rogue is one of the oldest mismatches for Rogue in the books. And it's not as bad for Oil Rogue as it was for Miracle Rogue, but it's still pretty bad.
Yeah, it can get pretty rough. There are a lot of taunts, and of course the Loatheb already in hand for Ghost. That will be pretty nice to do as we go forward. But Dawn does have a prep in hand to begin with. He also has an Eviscerate to help get rid of any earlier minions. And he's just going to start chipping away because he doesn't have anything else he's going to want to play for the first couple turns.
2 backstabs, too. Yeah, Ghost doesn't have the greatest hand right now. He's going to really be wanting to draw that Twilight Drake in the next draw. Otherwise, Fish for a Mountain Giant. The hand a bit uninspiring right now.
Well, let's see what he can get.
Yeah, he might just have to play that big game hunter next turn.
Dawn contemplating whether he puts on the Deadly Poison, but he's not going to for now. Oh, a Molten Giant.
Molten Giant, so. Yeah, not getting the Twilight Drake after all.
Well,
so do you life tap, or do you just play the big game hunter just to give them something to worry about? Because BGH is not going to have any other targets in Rogue, so I like this.
I think you just put it down.
Yeah.
I mean, because it can get pretty iffy once you have your Giants down that you can't really put it down after that point because you'll have to activate it.
Yeah.
So.
And you'd imagine this is going to get backstabbed, but Dawn is going to not feel the greatest about it. That's why this is such a nice play from Ghost, is that you kind of have to get rid of it. But in doing so, you know you're giving up something that might just barely give you the edge to take out a Giant without taking 8 damage, too. So It's kind of tough to give that up, but no choice really for Dawn.
Yeah, still just chipping away with his dagger.
And Hellfire, or Shadow Flame rather, so. Still lacking the normal 4-drops that Handlock relies on, so he's just going to coin out Lothar.
Yeah, that's fine. He had the coin, and now he's doing all right. He has the Defender of Argus to chain into that.
Yeah, and he stops something like, Prep Sprint, for example, from happening this turn at least.
Yes. Just an early Harrison, not concerned about a possible Jiraxis, as it's not been as popular as it was in the past, and even then, just given what Dawn has in hand, it's not going to be worth it to really save that for that long at this point in the game. Huh.
Really awkward here for Ghost here. He's got 2 Defenders of Argus. I was going to say maybe you just want to trade in and make him do something to get rid of it,
Yeah, I think just the Defender of Argus is fine.
Yeah. He's got 2 of them. Doesn't look like there's anything too wild about that deck. He's got Ragnaros in there. I think, did he have Ragnaros instead of Jiraxis? I didn't quite catch it before they slid it off the screen.
Yeah, actually, I didn't check for Jiraxis, but I think he did, in fact.
That might be it. And that's just a tech we see people do sometimes. So he gets his opponent to take 6 damage. That's not bad. I mean, anti-heal bot is used, yeah, but still.
Yeah, but Dawn holding on just fine, too, for now. That is a good mortal coil target, so Ghost starting to have some more options here. Ragnaros comes in just in time. In 2 turns, he'll be able to play that to Dr. Boom and Rag. Seems like they'll be the plays for Ghost.
The Ghost has a pretty good set of turns coming up, depending on what Dawn makes him have to deal with. And speaking of what Dawn's going to make him have to deal with, we'll see what the Azure Drake draws. Okay, there's Thor is in.
Okay, not too bad.
More than that.
Do you eviscerate this?
Yeah, that's a question, right?
It's a pretty big question.
Yeah, because you don't want to use your sap on it. You want to save that for the Giants that are going to get taunted later. But it's just because of the taunts, there's so little opportunity to just directly attack the face, so you really need a lot of that direct damage in this matchup.
Yeah.
Where he's got the Azure Drake out, it's just so clean that he might as well,
Yeah. So he just goes in and brings that down to 1 so that he can do something about it next turn. Dr. Boom still a fine play here, and Dawn, you're going to have to make a tough choice. Do you sap that? Generally, you wouldn't want to, but starting to feel a little bit iffy.
Seen it happen quite a few times, and he's really got not really too many other good ways of dealing with it. He could just use Deadly Poison, I suppose. He could use Deadly Poison to take out the... Oh, actually, no, that wouldn't work. What am I saying? Oh, no.
Well, he has Blade Flurry and he has Spell Power. And
well, actually, he could use Deadly Poison to take out the Sludge. He's got a 3 damage backstab, so between that and the Azure Drake, he could take out Dr. Boom and save the sap. And it doesn't look like that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, I like this. Dawn starting to play for the win here, where you just put down Thorson and you say, well, this is a threat. Are you going to do something about it, or are you just going to play it out? Now, Dawn doesn't get too much out of this, considering he already had 2 spells that were at 0 cost. But
I don't think Ghost is too worried about this. He's got Shadow Flame. He's got Ragnaros if he wants to use that too.
Right, but if he uses Shadow Flame, I mean, yeah, you can do 7 damage and then clear it. There aren't going to be too many other options to use Shadow Flame, but the point here is if you use Shadow Flame, you can't really play too much else. So he's actually just going to try for the Boom Bots. Ooh, okay.
Well, he's got Mortal Coil, so this actually works.
Yeah, this works
theory,
fine.
Yeah. So hopefully for him, the bomb doesn't hit Emperor Tharza.
Or the other way, and...
Oh, pretty good. All right.
Okay.
It's okay. Could have been worse.
All right, yeah.
Oh, there's a Twilight Drake, finally.
Well, he's got a lot of cards in hand, so he'll be able to play those next turn.
Yeah. Now, if the South Sea deckhand gets drawn, it could get a bit dicey. It didn't, though. I was going to say, with that sap at 1 mana, it's quite a bit of damage in Dawn's hand.
Man, Dawn really wishing he had something else here to play with this, or his Violet Teacher maybe coming through would have been nice.
Well, let's see, I haven't done the math, but if he had deckhand, would he have just been able to win? So he would have had, let's see, yeah, 6, 12,
yeah,
12 plus.
Because he has prep. He had to re-dagger, but he has prep, so he would have had...
I think he would have just
5x, so he would have had 12 from there, and then 5 from the Blade Flurry.
And 17, and then he Would he have had enough to play the SI-7?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, maybe. Would have been close either way. He manages to clear what's on the board. Had to sap that Dr. Boom though, and now we're just going to see a giant up. Yep. Yep, and that is going to be pretty tough for Don to get through. Both saps have been used, so what do? You don't even have enough between Tinker's Sharp, Sword Oil, oh hi, and Deadly Poison.
Well,
so I don't know. It's going to be tough.
yeah, I don't think Don really has an answer here. He ran into 2 pretty bad matchups.
How much you want to bet that fan blowing a kiss just now is going to end up on like every intro video for this tournament for the rest of the season? OGN loves that kind of stuff. Really, we all love that kind of stuff, let's be honest.
How much do you want to bet that those intros will be followed with a face shot of Go Rush blushing?
or like a shot of Jungle Ramu freaking out.
Jungle Ramu.
That would be perfect. Well, Don kind of fishing for answers here, but I don't think you're really going to find that. I swear I just heard like crickets chirping in the game, and I'm like, yep, that's about the sound a rogue makes when he's about to die to handlock.
Don't have much you can do at all here. He's gonna fight for survival, but
yeah, you have to. It's a pretty good blade flurry.
It's all right.
Bam.
But man, doing 6 damage to a 1 health giant hurts. Now he does have a prep sprint, so he can refresh his hand.
You can't just drop Ragnaros here. I feel like you have to have some sort of taunt. Or you could heal.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be fine.
With everything used, with only 3 cards in the hand, he's totally fine doing that. Yep.
Well, gotta prep sprint.
Yep, pretty much.
I don't know what he can get that will save him, but he does draw his 2nd sap.
Whoa, that card is like perfectly. I haven't signed it. That's crazy.
All right, and he gets another apprentice. That's not bad. Not bad at all.
I thought he used both. I guess I got my games confused.
Oh yeah. He only had 1 here in the 2nd game. And he's all right. He's gonna line up those apprentices, but now the Hellfire is there. Shadow Flame also there. And a Sledge Belcher. Huh. This. Yeah, Ghost, he's going to want to draw, I think, to try to figure something out. He's actually in a little bit of a risky zone right now.
Could double Hellfire.
He could.
Hey, you could.
He could. That means he wouldn't have any minions left. But, yeah, Dawn, the prep sprint's really doing a lot of work for him. Now, the good news to Ghost is that there's only 1 charge left on the weapon. And we can see that there's no Blade Flurry. But he can still get 5 extra, so 8 on the dagger. And then 6, 7, 8. So 16 plus 4, 20.
Are you serious?
Yeah, wow, that is.
You know,
do you just do it? Do you just go for it?
I think you do, because, well, or you don't. Well, you still
No,
could.
you still. Well, actually, no, you can't do all of it because you're 1 mana short. You don't get the Deadly Poison.
I feel like he should have just went for it.
But
because now there's such a good chance that you're going to have that Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil on drawing minion if he uses it this turn. Okay, so he's going to just
I don't
hope that he draws that 2nd Blade Flurry.
Yeah, and I think you kind of need to because leaving it at... Okay. Oh, okay.
It's okay. Even if it had died, that would have been okay.
Yeah. Now, this does pose a lot of questions for Ghost, right? Because even those 2 cards could provide lethal for Dawn. So I think, ooh, man.
Well, he's got a Sludge Belcher, so I think he's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you'll have to...
Wow, if he doesn't taunt up this turn, that's
pretty
bold. How much damage would that be? 6 plus?
I mean, 12 from the dagger, and then 6, so 18. So that would be lethal.
Yeah, you have to play the
if he got a Blade Flurry.
Yeah. Okay. So he did play the Belcher.
And a Fan of Knives.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, he doesn't get
Okay.
Sharp Sword Oil on the wrong one.
I think
Well,
Don just needs. Yeah, I think he just needs to. I think he just needs to Sharp Sword Oil.
wow.
And wow.
Got it.
Okay. He has SI7 agent too
Yeah,
to get rid of the.
This is great with SI7 agent.
Okay. Now, Ghost, if he draws into a Dark Ball, the game is over. But he does not.
Well, if he just rags, the game is over. But he doesn't
Well,
have enough for Hellfire and Ragnaros.
Okay, Hellfire now I think is fine. You saw the second oil come out.
Yeah, no taunts, though.
Yeah, but at 14 health with 2 oils gone, I believe Don did use 2 oils to separate, so
True.
I think you're fine. And just going for the Moon Giant and the Ancient Watcher because he does have the Owl. So even if the Giant gets sapped or something, he'll have that kill ready. And
Well,
looks like that is game.
Yep.
Well, Don put up a
and
really good
Ghost.
fight.
Yeah, but Ghost goes up 2-0, winning with the Warrior, winning with the Warlock.
Yeah, Ghost playing very patiently, not being affected too much by nerves, it seems, at least in the first 2 sets.
Yeah, I think he's playing really well. I think he's making all the right decisions. And Don is not playing poorly. He's just not quite, it just hasn't been good matchups. You know, Rogue versus Warrior, Rogue versus Handlock, just 2 tough matchups for Rogue. Now he's got the option to stick with it. You know, he might as well. It's against Druid. He's also got Warlock and Warrior himself that he could choose to switch to. But at this point, you need to win it with everything, so it really doesn't matter. It's all about, you know, is Don a little bit tilted right now? Does he just want to change decks, or does he want to just stick with Rogue?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, some people do coin flips. You know, at this point, a lot of people say technically it does not matter, but obviously it may matter depending on your mood, your attitude, and whatnot. If you're the man in the booth. So right now, Ghost leading 2-0. We will be taking a short commercial break before coming back for set number 3 between Dawn and Ghost in this Group C match of the round of 16 for Hearthstone Masters Korea Season 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after a short break. Welcome back, everyone, to Hearthstone Masters Korea Season 2. We are in our Group C matchup of the round of 16, a best-of-5 in Conquest format, and Dawn, as you see right now, is actually down 0-2 to his opponent, Ghost, and he needs to win with all 3 of his decks against Ghost Druid.
Yeah, and it is not going to be easy. Druid is still pretty solid, can take wins off anything. We don't know quite what kind of Druid that Ghost has brought today, but probably something in the mid-range variety. We've seen a couple ramp here and there, but we're about to find out.
Yeah, we will find out what style of Druid it's going to be and which deck Dawn chooses to continue in this set number 3. Will we see another 3-0 in the second day of Season 2? About to find out as we jump right into the third game between Dawn and Ghost.
And Warrior. Okay, so Dawn did decide to switch things up then. Why not?
I don't blame him.
Warrior's a pretty good match against Druid.
Ooh, and it's going to be Patron Warrior.
Yes, and Patron Warrior is an extremely good matchup against Druid.
Yeah, well, would make sense then that specifically he did choose to bring it out in this third set, see if he can get a win to start the climb back towards a victory for himself.
You know, we used to talk about how Druid was like, it's pretty good. It never has below like a 40% win rate against anything, but Patron Warrior is the first deck to come out to really be difficult for Druid to handle. So this might be Dawn's to getting back into this, rather.
Yeah, Ghost does have some nice earlier options. He has the Wrath and the Swipe and a piloted Shredder.
And no Wild Growth or anything, unfortunately, and that's it's nice to see that early Leper Gnome. Can cycle it if he wants to.
Loot Hoarder, yeah.
Or Loot Hoarder, yeah. I've got Leper Gnomes on the brain, man.
They're always on your brain.
Of course. Best card in the game, man.
They're plaguing you, man.
Leper Gnomes. Doing the most damage for the least mana since beta.
Miracle Pain coming down. Not bad at all. Trying to bait out some of this removal from Ghost, seeing as how Ghost hasn't had a minion to play early.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, just the Shredder is going to be fine for him.
Certainly a good answer.
Now, Dawn has several parts to his combos ready to go, but for now it looks like he's going to use a Taskmaster to clear the Shredder and get 2 cycles off of it. Wouldn't be bad at all.
I mean, that generally has kind of become what the Taskmasters are for in Patron Warriors. They're not for the Grim Patrons so much because they cost that 2 mana, so they're used a lot more on the Armor Smiths, on the Acolyte of Pain to get multiple draws.
Wow. All right, well, okay, so Dawn has Coin Tharson next turn, and then he can get the chains rolling for the Patrons, and that's going to get a little bit iffy for Ghost. He does draw an Innervate, though, on turn 5.
Yeah, he does, and Innervating out an Ancient of Lore wouldn't be the worst thing ever. Still at 30 health, so he doesn't need the taunt from the Druid of the Claw down just yet. Oh, he can also just toss out Dr. Boom. I suppose that works, too.
Yeah, I think Boom here being a little bit safer for now. You might want to use those lures for the draw power later or the heal. Also, before the Patrons come out, getting those boom bots down.
Now, unfortunately for Dawn, he has missed the best turn possible for Patron Warrior against Druid. He missed that turn 4 Death Spite attack into turn 5. Inner Rage, Patron Warrior, you know, get 4 from out there, nothing they can do. Wasn't able to do that, but this Emperor Thaurissan should help him have a pretty nice combo around turn 7-ish.
Yeah, well, I mean, even turn 6, right? He can put down the Commander and the Patron and then Inner Rage, and then see how Ghost reacts, and then if he doesn't, then he can put down another Commander if need. Oh no, I guess he does. Oh yeah, he does have another Commander if need be, and then he does have 2 of his Frothing Berserkers. So Ghost has a lot going for him right now, or Dawn rather. I mean.
Not if this Druid of the Claw hits the board though.
Yeah, that could be a little bit iffy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna just go ahead and charge it to start adding on that damage. It'll still be 4 damage, so it'll be a nice threat against the Patrons.
I think that was not the greatest idea because you don't want to leave a minion open for Warrior to combo off of. This could really come back to haunt him. He's got that Inner Rage. Oh, man. I mean, he's got minions out to deal with it, but he doesn't need to worry about the boom bots anymore. I think Ghost might have just made a really bad mistake. You can see him shaking his head. I can't believe he played that in charge for him. That was just way too overeager. It's not a good idea.
To be fair, well, actually, yeah. I guess
there's nothing good about that.
There's nothing to be fair about
this is And that's like the worst minion to do that against. Ghost, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have no answer to this board at this point. Yeah, because if he taunted it up, he would have at least been able to block the first wave.
Yeah, well, he shuts the combo down completely. I mean, that's what happens unless there's a commanding shout. The combo just can't happen if there's a Druid of the Claw out. That was a pretty poor play from Ghost. That could very well have cost him the 3-0. Now, he's got this Sludge Belcher. He can kill one of the patrons. He can kill the full health one, which is nice. He can take out the commander, which is probably what you want to do here. But it is a little bit tough right now.
Yeah, and at the same time, Don's not going to feel too bad about losing this combo because he's got another one coming at turn 8 if he wants.
Yeah, I suppose. He even did that in a way where his Druid took one more damage than it needed to, because he could have wrathed the Grim Patron and then ran it into the commander.
Yeah,
so Ghost is kind of falling apart a little bit here.
Yeah, a little bit tilted. I think he's realizing it right now.
And in fact, I probably would have just gone to face, honestly. You've got him down at 18 health right now, and it's looking unlikely that you're going to be able to deal with this board. Might have been better just to kind of go for the win.
Yeah, well, yeah, might not have been bad. I mean, you have swipe to finish off the game if you need to the face. At that point, the patrons won't matter if it's the finishing blow.
You cannot give Patron Warrior a minion to combo off of.
Yeah, well, Ghost, he's in a bind.
Indeed. So let's see what Don's got, though. It's not too easy for him either. I mean, see, this is a situation that he would have been in if there would have been a Druid of the Claw with Taunt Form played. But either way, he's got enough to deal with the Sludge Belcher. He's got another commander.
Oh, okay, just putting out the Garmash to put a bit of a bigger threat down.
I like this, too, because what you want to do against Druid with Grim Patron is you just want to flood the board. You know, you just want to give them a lot of stuff to have to deal with. This is still a relatively swipe-proof hand. Or a swipe-proof board, rather.
All right. So Ghost can't clear everything. Oh man, Force of Nature won't help you clear the entire thing either. But I think you have to clear the Garmash with Force of Nature and then Wrath the 3-1. Oh, actually, do you just Wrath the 3-3 to make sure the swipe?
Yeah, I would Wrath
later.
I would definitely Wrath the 3-3.
Oh.
If I was going to Wrath. But I think what he's going to do is you swipe on oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, it does kill both patrons. Yeah, he's got 27 health. Okay.
Yeah, so
fine.
he's just
That's
using
fine.
that to get rid of the patron. So that was an option. Personally,
That's
I
fine.
wondered if he would be a little bit too threatened by the Garmash.
Now, if he had attacked to face with that Druid of the Claw instead of trading, he would have lethal next turn.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it doesn't look like it's going to matter too much because Don just turned to a Whirlwind.
Yeah, he's got 2 Frothing Berserkers as well, too. Is that potentially lethal? Let's see.
Well, he can't use the he can't play the patron and the berserkers and the whirlwind.
Yeah,
but
yeah. I'm wondering if he can do. No, he can only do 1 Frothing Berserker too if he wants to do the whirlwind. He's
no,
like
no.
One...
He can do the commander and then 2 berserkers and the whirlwind.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. That's only 6. Yeah.
But
bad at math. That's why I don't play this deck anymore. He's just gonna gain a lot of armor. He just wants to stay safe.
All right. Not whirlwinding either. Okay.
16 plus 10. He would have had lethal if he would have played both Frothing Berserkers.
He would have.
Because, yeah, 4 times 2. They would have each had 6, so that would have been 12 plus 10, 22. Yeah, he would have.
Yeah.
He would have definitely had lethal.
I think he completely just whiffed over that. Because after you said it, I was like, oh yeah, actually, just the 2 berserkers would be lethal.
Yeah, it would. I'm not crazy, right?
No.
Yeah, because 4 times 2 would have been.
In fact,
4
even if they didn't get whirlwinded, he would have had 14 damage. So he
they
should
would
have
have each
known
done 6. Garmash would have done 10, and so that right there is.
Yeah, I think
not,
Don didn't really think that through very well. Now,
Oh.
Ghost can use one of his combos to clear, or is he just gonna? Okay, all right.
Not the cleanest game either from both
Either of these guys.
This
Yeah,
is kind of bad.
a little bit disappointing by both of them, but we'll see who clinches it. I mean, both of them made a bit of a mistake here and there. Don definitely made the kind of bigger mistake by completely not seeing the lethal he had.
Well, let's see. So, I mean, he's got the ability to make a bunch of patrons, which is what he should do right now. Yeah.
Well, not getting the most he can out of the battle rage either. I don't know what he's really saving that commander for. I think he's still fishing for like a one-turn lethal with a commander, but then he missed it, and so now he's just like holding on to that.
He didn't use the inner rage on the patron either, which he totally could have done. Just because against Druid, you just flood the board. I mean, as long as you flood the board, you're fine because they can't clear it all.
Well, I guess maybe he really wanted some wombo combo with the Berserker. That's the only way I can think of it, is that he's not doing the math and he's just looking for a combo with the Berserker.
Yeah, this is just
he hasn't crunched the numbers yet. But
this is not the most skillful game of Hearthstone we've ever seen.
Either way, Dawn should still win the game. That is what we do now. Because right now he has 6 damage on board. Like you said, with the inner range, he'll have 5 more, so 8. He'll get another patron, that's already 11.
Yep.
And then you will have a Frothing Berserker that will be doing 3 damage, that's 14. And then you can put down, actually you can put down both Frothing Berserkers. Don, you have...
He's got plenty.
You have way more. Yeah, I mean, with 2 Berserkers down and then you inner range one of them, that's like lethal right there.
Oh yeah, because it's 5 plus 6
Or inner range the patron, rather, is what I meant. But
right, the patron, right, because that would be 11, and then each Berserker would do 3, so 11 plus 6 is 17. Yeah, that's plenty. And he sees this lethal.
All right, woo.
Took a couple extra turns longer than it should have. Ghost might have been able to win it if he would have played the Druid of the Claw.
Yeah, I actually do wonder.
In taunt, well, he had, and either way, in charge form, if he would have attacked instead of cleared the patron.
Wait. Okay, just going for the extra damage there. Okay.
If he would have attacked instead of clearing the patron, he would have been able to win with the combo the next turn. So, all right, so that game happened, but the match is still going. A win for Dawn with the Warrior deck.
Well, I'm just glad that Dawn doesn't have to play his Patron Warrior again, because that was a little bit scary.
I wonder if his face is saying that he knows he missed lethal.
No, I actually don't think he did. I don't think he realizes. I don't think he's going to realize until the end of the day.
Yeah. Wow, that seemed like a very obvious one.
In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think many people in this studio saw that, because then we would have heard a huge hullabaloo. I actually think most people weren't realizing that there were 2 Berserkers in hand. I think maybe they thought one of them was another commander without realizing another one was played.
No, you can see that. You can see what card it is.
Well, I mean, it is kind of small on the big screen because the top side is flipped and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm just going through it in my head again. He had Grommash for 10. He had 2 Berserkers. He had the Warsong Commander. Would have been 6 on each. Yeah, he had plenty.
Well, we will find out if Dawn can continue bringing it back. He's down only 1 game, 2-1 in favor of Ghost. Still in this best of 5. Ghost will still have to play his Druid. We'll see if he can secure this or if Dawn brings it to the last game in this match.
And here we go. It is going to be loading time. You don't have to go home. No, that's closing hand time. Wrong time. You know, to be fair, as we see Handlock coming in versus his Druid. Now, you know, to be fair, Patron Warrior is certainly the hardest deck out there to play right now. And it does take a lot of practice. I played it for I've been playing it since the week Grim Patron came out. I made it the first day Grim Patron came out.
It's
been playing it since, and you do still miss a lot of stuff, yeah. It does happen.
It's pretty difficult.
But it's really fun. It's an awesome deck.
Yeah, it's definitely very rewarding when you find those lethals and you can play them and win. But for now, we're back to some very standard play and a very standard Handlock versus Druid matchup.
Yep, that's right. So we'll see if Druid can get in there and burst Handlock down before those enormous walls of taunts come up. A little bit later on, got the coin, got Innervate, so it's got an opportunity to get an early minion down.
Yeah, nothing too spectacular. He does have a keeper, though, for that early Twilight Drake, so that will help. Dawn, meanwhile, does have all of his taunt givers in hand, so not too bad for him either. Ooh,
now,
ooh, whoa, okay. Trying to prevent an early Mountain Giant coming down because he didn't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Going into turn 4, I suppose you could You could say that. It's a bit of a reach. I mean, you still... Well, if you do 2 damage to Sylvanas and then run it in, but then you're only getting a not very powerful Twilight Drake, but it does put a lot of pressure on your opponent, and he's got Savage Roar in his hand, so the idea is to put down a Druid of the Claw on the next turn, kill him, basically.
Yeah, I mean, he drew into a Force of Nature, too, so Ghost is pretty
right.
set to go here. Dawn is going to need to... Well, okay, he drew his Mountain Giant. There's that, but obviously Sylvanas on board. He also has an Owl. So, man, I mean, this is already a lot of damage coming in from Ghost. Don't really have an answer to that, I guess.
Yeah, no Molten Giants in the hand right now. He's got a lot of Taunt Givers, though. In fact, he's got all of his Taunt Givers in his hand right now, both Sunfury Protectors and both Defender of Argus.
Huh. I mean, I think you definitely need to get rid of the Shredder here.
I think you need to get some taunting going. It's too bad he doesn't have an Ancient Watcher. I think he's gonna just have to play Defender of Argus. No, because then Sylvanas.
No, I think
I
think you silence that and then you put down some free protector and then you get rid of the Shredder.
Oh, we'll see what he does. Shredder will be the target. He can't kill Sylvanas. So. Shrinkmeister. All right. You could Wrath and Keeper of the Grove. But no, you couldn't. You don't have enough mana.
Yeah, well, you can just put this in
Chargement.
Yeah, charge in because you have that Savage Roar.
Yeah, putting him down to 16 is fine because then that would mean
the taunt. That's fine too.
Sure. So he's gonna save up for the combo now, I suppose.
Yeah, that's kind of the goal here. And if he gets either one of these to continue surviving, then he doesn't even need to be, them to be below 15. He can do well over 14 damage. So. Now Dawn needs to realize, I mean, with the taunt coming down to protect that Sylvanas, that there's definitely a threat of lethal here. Putting down his own Sylvanas, okay.
Yeah,
but there is there's a silence, and he's just gonna trade it. Okay, Ghost playing it real safe because he has the full combo going, and yeah, I think you definitely want growth. All right, Ghost, in fact, just playing for the combo with at least one more minion on board.
Yep, definitely. And that's why he's trying to keep his opponent higher health as well, too, because he can burst him down from 20. Let's see.
Well, you saw one Keeper of the Grove come down. I think you just go ahead and put down the Giant and a Taunt. I believe, mana cost-wise, he has to use a Sun Fury for that one. I believe it's 5 right now. Yeah, you have to. Whoa, okay, just trying to go for one more turn. Okay, well, Dawn...
He's got one more turn.
Yeah, and I believe he's done the calculations there.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's pretty good. That certainly helps a lot. And, yeah, you can even clear the Ancient Watcher if you want to.
I think you do. I think if you're Ghost, you don't want the risk of a taunt coming down because you don't have an easy way to get through it right now.
I agree. I agree. And the thing is you're going to have lethal with the combo either way.
Yeah, and there's no point in bringing him down lower because then he could still get like a Molten and a Sun Fury. So I think this is the right play. Is he still going to attack with the Druid? I would think
yeah,
not.
Of course. Well, no, he's not going to attack with the Druid. I thought you meant attack with the Keeper of the Grove.
No.
In the Ancient Watcher, yeah.
Just the hero power. That's fine. 9 mana. You can't do a combo with the taunts there for the Molten Giant.
Yep, still 9 mana if he had any.
And he has 26 damage right now.
Dark
that will be reduced to 20 damage.
Yeah, which is enough, unless he plays the Ancient Heal Bot.
Yeah, I think you have to if you're Dawn.
Yep, you do. All right, so there's the Ancient Heal Bot. So no lethal for Ghost this turn, but he does have Dr. Boom, which is pretty good, I've heard.
I've heard it's a pretty strong card.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
You know, if you own one, you might want to consider putting it in some of your decks.
Especially if you own a golden one, which is really cool. Now, he's not really worried about Shadow Flame or anything like that here because he's got those bombs that would be coming in anyway, so might as well attack and bring him down to 22.
Yeah, and you can't put down a Molten Giant anyway at this point.
Yeah.
So
and taunts aren't really a big problem either because you're going to run into things with your Boombot, or actually you're just going to combo and run over everything. So
Yeah, well, Dawn, if he puts Sun to Twilight and a Defender of Argus, does he survive? I don't believe so.
Does it depend on how the bombs fall? No, it doesn't, because he can just kill the Twilight Drake with many things. With,
Oh, he does have the BGH, alright. And then the Sun Fury, okay. Huh. Okay.
well, let's see. Does it still depend on how the bombs fall? I don't
No, I don't
so.
think he can get
Yeah,
lethal.
I can. Oh, so Don just barely clinging on to life here. Let's see what he draws. Oh, Keeper of the Grove.
Oh, that's nice.
Having that silence against that Twilight Drake is pretty huge.
Oh, man, the ideal thing would be if that BGH wasn't there, but
Yeah, but you
still have to. You still have to silence the Drake.
Yeah, I feel like you silence the Drake and then you probably hero power and run one of your bombs into the into the dude. You can take 4 damage, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, you have 4 armor.
Yep.
Now, who's gonna hit?
Hopefully the Sunfree Protector.
Oh,
Well, that works too,
okay.
actually.
Ooh, that is not what Ghost wanted, though.
Not really, no.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Wow.
so
When have you been sad? Because your
I
blue bots
know.
both did 4 damage to
when
face.
when I've been trying to kill Handlock, that's when I've been sad, Joe, bro.
Oh, wow.
That's why Ghost is sad right now, because those boom bots might have lost him the game.
Yeah, Ghost looks like he just...
He looks like us and Boombots just hit the Warlock instead of the Sunfree Protector twice in a row. He lost 2 50-50s and now he's going to lose the game.
Wow. I do, you know,
Swipe.
I know we're saying this in hindsight, but I do think he played a little too greedy about the 20 health earlier.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I think he was a
Well-
little too worried about the Molten Giants coming in.
Yeah, because I mean, he had turns where he could have reduced the Molten Giant cost to 6, and it would have been a turn where you could not play Molten Giant and a taunt. So yeah, I think you're right. I think 4 damage to face would have been better before.
Well, Ghost now just trying to, he can still get the kill next turn. If there isn't an Ancient Heal Bot, but there is. Or Anti-Heal Bot. And there's an Ancient Watcher. And there's a Defender of Argus. So,
It's got a lot of good stuff.
what can Ghost do? Now, Dawn still needs to figure out a way for him to finish the game, too. So he's going to want this Giant alive.
Well, he knows that his opponent can really only kill him with the combo, so he doesn't need to worry about healing this turn, really. He just needs to worry about making sure that the combo can't get through his taunts, basically.
Right, yeah. No, so if you put down the Ancient Watcher, that's smart.
You put down Lotheb, they can't combo at all, so he doesn't even need the taunt. No, because he's got Defender of Argus, he's in really good shape. And there's nothing that Ghost can do. Well, nah, Sludge Belcher.
He can survive for another turn.
He will survive, yeah.
Because right now he would have 16 damage, 18 damage, so he still wouldn't have died. But he's gonna just hold on for dear life.
Now, I might have attacked into the Molten Giant, actually. Just because you don't want to be able to trade with your Sludge Belcher too easily.
Wow. Now Ghost really has no answer.
Yeah.
Nothing you can draw will save you.
Nope.
Well, Dawn pulling through and taking it to the last game, I would assume here.
And
oh, look at that. Second Force of Nature.
Yeah, I mean, this hasn't been the cleanest series, but these two apparently are pretty close.
Well, he's trying to clear all the threats, which he can. He can clear the big threats here, right? So he can survive for another turn.
Does he run double combo though?
He
That's the
does.
question.
He does. We saw that earlier.
Can he hit him with his hero power 3 times before he dies?
That's the big question.
That's the question.
With another giant, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Just exactly lethal. If you play Lotheb in hero power, you buy yourself a turn. No, you don't.
No, 'cause
never
the
mind, because the
giant's
other
there,
things
yeah.
are still alive. Yeah. Never mind.
All right. Well,
that is that.
Well played, Ghost. Well played.
And so he's going to clear these guys. Just because he will live for one more turn.
Yeah, but Dawn's just like, really? Dawn looks a little bit annoyed because there
Hellfire.
is the Hellfire.
That's right. So we are going to game 5.
Man, Ghost
Yeah.
That one mistake against the Patron Warrior looks like it's still haunting him. I mean, even if he didn't make that mistake, there was no guarantee he would win, but he would have had a much better chance for sure.
Well, he made 2 critical errors in the Patron Warrior game, because the one where he didn't go to face and killed the Patron Warrior instead, when he had the chance of drawing the combo, at that point, you're either going to kill him with the combo or you're going to lose the Patrons, even if you clear most of them. So that game was rough. This game was less rough, but I still think he did play it a little bit too conservatively. I agree that if he would have went to face one more time with one of those 4 damage minions, brought his opponent down to 16, he might have been able to take it.
Well, we're down to one last game between these two guys. What looked like it might be another 3-0 is now going to be a 3-2, one way or the other. Dawn versus Ghost to determine who moves on to the quarterfinals.
So that leaves us with Rogue versus Druid.
그 상대는
Well, we're back to the Rogue, full circle.
Yep. And I feel like you still have to give the edge to Ghost going into this one, matchup-wise. I like the Druid a little bit better, but he's made a couple pretty critical errors in the last 2 games now, so...
Yeah, it's been a little rough.
Who knows what'll happen.
Let's see, the opening hand is looking pretty decent for Ghost, though.
Yeah, well, he's got a lot of good stuff, but he doesn't really have any of the ramp.
I think he feels okay with it.
I wonder if he's going to coin out the Shade. Because you don't really give yourself much of a turn 4 if you do that. I mean, yeah,
turn 3, yeah.
Turn 3, that's not right. Yeah, you've got Wrath, I suppose, and Hero Power next turn, but he is just going to wait and coin out that piloted Shredder, most likely.
Yeah.
Or just actually play the
Yeah, I think you can just play the
straight
Shade
up
too. Depends on if you expect a Violet Teacher to be coming out, because you did see that in Dawn's deck, and we can see that it's in his hand. So, Ghost, ooh, actually, okay, well, with the Deadly Poison, I like that from Dawn. Putting it down preemptively to take care of any other things that might come out.
Well, it'll still be 4 damage to clear it, unless you play Stalnos Backstab, which is not a bad idea.
Yeah, but I think just playing the Teacher is fine.
You can probably backstab whatever comes out, too.
Yeah, I think that's... Oh!
Or not. Well, this is interesting. He could... okay, no, it's too bad he didn't have 1 more mana. Otherwise, you could charge the... Drew the Claw, and that would have been pretty cool.
Do you silence this?
Silence the Violet Teacher?
Yeah. No, actually just silence your own Flame Totem, in my opinion. I think that's the play of the year right there.
Great. Let's do that.
The Violet Teacher. There aren't too many silence targets against Oil Road, because most things just happen the moment they come down.
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah, I think you do. Now you have the Wrath to get rid of the Violet Teacher next turn alongside the King, so...
Alright, well, backstab is pretty nice.
Alright. Ghost gonna take, I believe, 3 damage to face. Well, I mean, because you have 3 damage on that dagger. I don't know if you really feel like using it, but I guess he does.
I think it's fine to keep everything off the board for Druid. It's not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all for sure. Now he's just gonna steal Wrath, and so Ghost is also okay with that though, because to him that was what was gonna happen anyway.
Yep.
And of course, not gonna have a use for Harrison against Druid, so might as well play it when you have no other play. It's still a 5-4 on the board, and no 4 damage immediately coming in, and even with a swipe, Ghost would have had to clear his own Shade to clear the board against Dawn.
This is looking a little bit rough for Ghost. He's actually going to charge in to take out Harrison, looks like.
Well, things are starting to look okay for Ghost from here on out, though, because you've got the heals, you've got the Dr. Boom. I think he feels okay. Now, that sprint does feel a little scary, but still no preps coming in for Dawn, so nothing too scary. No oils either, actually.
Boom. And I would definitely clear. Okay, yeah, he is. Yeah, you don't want to give him any Tinker Sharpsword Oil targets going into turn 8 with that many cards in hand. That would be pretty dangerous. Now, there is a South Sea deckhand, but no Sharpsword Oil?
Yeah, no Sharpsword Oil. You do have 2 saps, so I think Dawn. All right, so he's going to use everything he's got to clear this Dr. Boom without wanting to sap it.
Might as well.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty decent play. Ooh, 4 damage to face. This time it feels good for Ghost. He also cleared the Thanatos with the Boom Bots. Of course, he gave a draw, but not too bad. Still no prep or oil for Dawn.
Oh, Ragnaros.
Ooh.
That's dangerous, because if you leave a minion out on the board,
but you don't
really
have a way to kill that anyway.
Yeah, you could keep her and then hero power.
Oh well, I guess so.
He's going for it. He's going for the Ragnaros. This could be like a game-ending decision, though. And he gets it.
Wow. Okay.
Gets the 3/3. That is pretty big.
Now that Rag is going to start doing work, because what is Dawn going to do against? I guess he can sap it.
Yep. He will indeed just sap it.
All right, well, now there are multiple targets. Ghost really needing a swipe here. If he gets a swipe, it'd be pretty sick. Still no oil in hand for Dawn, though. Ghost doesn't know this, but it's not there. But he may not even need it at this point if it goes forward like this.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's see. Well, he doesn't have the greatest options, but he could Druid of the Claw in charge, or not in charge, in taunt, and then silence the Violet Teacher. He's hoping for a swipe, though.
Wow, that was
No
a
swipe.
risky draw.
Yeah, it was.
Risky draw of the day.
Ghost is really rolling the dice here with his last few turns. A couple turns ago, instead of Reg, I kind of liked Keeper into hero power, just because it clears a minion. It doesn't take any chances. You still save Rag, and you get a minion on the board that's going to stick around, you know?
Fair enough.
Oh, well.
Well, Dawn now is just going to keep flooding the board, and without the Ashen Drake alive anymore, the swipe not going to do any work either. Not to mention the Loatheb is now there.
You know, now we run into the same problem that Druid runs into against, like, Patron Warrior or something like that. When you get enough higher health minions out, there's just no way that Druid can take care of it. That Innervate would have been nice. We'll see what Ragnaros can do.
Yeah, I mean, Ragnaros take the wheel here for Ghost.
Yeah, if Sharpsword Oil is drawn, it's pretty much over, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wow. Well, there's a prep. So prep sprint.
Yeah, we'll see what he draws into. He's got 6 mana to work with after this.
Oh, boy.
Either way, it's going to be, he's already got 11 damage. All he needs is 4 more. There it is.
There it is.
So Dawn ends up taking this match after coming back. Reverse sweeping Ghost after Ghost making some pretty big errors in some of his middle games. This is going to be a match that's going to hurt for a while.
Yeah. Dawn, you've got it with just the Blade Flurry, man. You need to get too creative here, but...
Style points, man.
Style points.
It's all about the style points.
No, to be honest, the reason I was worried was Dawn's face looked as if he wasn't sure he had lethal. But there we go. He clicked the finishing blow and he's like, yes, he saw the skull mark on the enemy hero. And there you go. Dawn gets lethal against Ghost, and Ghost does not look happy, and I wouldn't be either. I mean, you know, Ghost definitely knew some of the mistakes he's made. And Dawn actually, man, if Ghost goes back and then monitors this game and he sees that Dawn also made those mistakes with Patron Warrior, he is not going to feel too good.
Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, Hearthstone is always a game with incomplete information. It's always a game where there's going to be little errors on both sides. Almost nobody plays Hearthstone perfectly. Almost nobody, no matter who they are. But there's certain things you generally always stick to. Certain rules of Hearthstone, Chober, and one of those is never give Grim Patron a target for his Grim Patrons.
Yeah, kill off your own minions if you need to. Use that fireball on your Haunted Creeper Spiderlings.
Or just play a taunt minion so he can't attack it. That helps too.
All right, well, we will have a quick chat with Dawn, I'm sure. The winner of Group C, and that was a bit of a wild ride. We thought we might be in for another 3-0.
Yeah.
And then we had a bit of a disappointing game for both players with that Patron Warrior versus Druid. But then after that, Dawn taking a relatively good play with his handlock and then his rogue at the end to climb back into a 3-2 win. I mean, after the Patron Warrior, I think Don didn't make any more crucial mistakes there.
Yeah, it was definitely more on the Ghost side than Don's side.
Yeah. All right, well, Don, what do you want to say after winning? I mean, how do you feel? And he said, I want to scream. And there he goes. Don, now the screaming man since season 1.
Who was that, Look Sam last season, I think it was?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, no, it was Flurry, actually.
Oh, was it?
Flurry.
Oh, okay.
And saying, well, although I was down 0-2, with Druid being the opponent class, I actually thought I still had a really good chance. And then, oh, he has a bit of a long story to tell here. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, so he's saying, well, with the Patron Warrior coming out first against the Druid, just matchup-wise, I thought it'd be a good matchup. And now, generally the reason I chose the handlock after instead of the rogue is because, I mean, this is, you're kind of just playing the luck here. But when I've been playing practice games a lot, I've tried to realize, obviously it's always going to be 50-50, but where the coin goes. And so based on my just predictions, I thought I would get the coin or not get the coin on the 4th game and then get the coin on the 5th game. So then, if anything, I wanted to increase my chances of playing Rogue with the coin. Of course, it didn't work out for him with the Rogue, but he still got the coin there for a set 4 for his handlock, so he still got that advantage. And just going right to the lethal here and talking to Don about his starting hand. I mean, you had all parts of your combo. You had a Berserker, you had a Patron, you had the Commander. Generally, doesn't that just feel awesome as a Patron Warrior player? And Don's just saying, actually, I didn't feel too good because usually you want some other earlier removal. You want that Dust Bite, maybe another Fiery War Axe or something like that to deal with the early board, and I'm okay with, the Patrons coming out later. So I was actually a little bit worried.
They haven't mentioned the Miss Lethal?
No?
The really easy Miss?
No, I don't think it came up. But talking about his mistake that we saw earlier in the interview or the highlight reel from his past in season 1 with that mistake with the Defender of Argus, he's saying, well, yeah, the more I look at it, I think I was just clicking too fast and wasn't taking into account the minions that can shift after one dies. And I remember us casting that, and I do believe that's exactly how it went through. And he's like, yeah, I think a lot of that was also from nerves and just the adrenaline pumping in. So I really need to practice being patient a lot more, no matter the circumstances in the booth. So it still haunts me, but I've been practicing that a lot, just keeping calm no matter what the situation and playing each game as it comes. And were you confident in this matchup for the round of 16? And yeah, in the qualifiers, some of my deck choices I thought might have been weaker against my opponent, but Ghost today, after seeing the deck choices, I thought I would definitely have the upper hand when it comes down to it, down to the wire. Now, you do still show a little bit of nerves, it seems, even today. But what do you plan to do to fix that even more for the round of 8 for the quarterfinals? I think the biggest thing for myself is, for one, again, I think I really need to just practice more, just get used to playing the games in any condition more so that none of that throws me off while I'm in the booth. And I think the other thing is, I think it's on my attitude, is that I don't think I should play as much to get to the top, but just to play my best game each day in each game. So I think that matters a lot. And also, I just want to give a quick shout out to our manager here, and then our captain and my teammates from Team Nightmare for coming to cheer for me here and supporting me here in the studio, and also for just providing so much practice for me leading up to the round of 16. So, well, yeah, that's Dawn. Moving on to the quarterfinals. Was a little bit shaky here and there, but then he did catch back on, and his handlock and Rogue pulled him through at the end, getting him a 3-2 win against Ghost. And we'll be back after break with our next best of 5 in the round of 16.